Three, two, one. What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Only Bruins podcast, episode 193. I am one half of your host. We can see how this one's gonna go down already today. Um, I'm one half your host today, but before we get to all that, just want to mention Pure Hockey, our sponsor. Make sure you click the link in the show description. It's the off season, but it's perfect time to go get all new stuff. Maybe you need to get stuff kids grew out of it. Maybe you need a new pair of gloves like Boosie. I don't know, but they'll help you out over there. They're really great at Pure Hockey. Skate like pros, be like the pros. Pure Hockey. Shout out to our sponsor. But Bobby, we've been seeing each other a lot lately. What's going on, brother?
I'm good. Had a fun Canada Day. Excited to be back. Talking all hockey.
Hell yeah,
All
baby.
Bruins hockey.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I guess we could just start I just want to start off by saying anybody who me and Bobby did a free agent live stream and a draft live stream, and you can hear a lot of our opinions on stuff over there. They're a little long, I get that, but we're pretty much just gonna break down everything that's happened with the Bruins over the past couple years. Jeez, it's gonna be one of those podcasts, man. Fucking my brains are, like you said, I had so much fun Canada Day yesterday, and my brain's not loving me today, but are you hurt or you injured? That's what you always got to ask yourself. Are you hurt or you injured? So, do you want to do signings first or trades? I think,
Let's do the signings first, I think.
yeah, because the trades have more talking points. Just kind of want to go over some of the signings. The reason why I ask is because this one goes off a trade at the draft. Lysell was traded for Ivan. Wish the best for Lysell. If you want to hear what happened with Lysell and the Bruins, Ty Anderson on his podcast and on the radio has pretty much said, like, multiple times they'd tell Lysell to go do something, and then they'd send him down to Providence, and he wasn't getting the minutes or opportunities to get those things done. And then it just kind of felt like, he had a really good end of the season. Every training camp, like, he's putting with talent that's AHL talent, and, he just wasn't given as much opportunity. And he's seeing guys like Kepke and Tufty and Patrick Brown all get call ups in it, and all, or even the one he mentioned, I was like, yeah, man, that should have been Lysell instead, was Wallstrom. Like, what were we doing? Like, the fact that Wallstrom got a chance over Lysell is just fucking. And then he made the joke, like, could you imagine if it was on the Poke the Bear with Connor Ryan? That's where it was. And he's like, could you imagine if Lysell was on a different team? They would be like, yeah, well, let's go get this guy. Have you seen his highlight reel? Like, he's a former first round pick. Like, he's the exact type of player the Bruins try to bring in to and give them the opportunities instead of Lysell. So it is kind of ironic, but I wish all the best for Lysell. It wasn't we all knew this last year when Arvidsson got signed. The writing was just kind of on the wall for him. Didn't get a single call up this year when it was warranted and deserved. But he's going over to Colorado now. I think it's a good system for him. Me and you were talking about it on the live stream. Like, what if you put like Landeskog, Nelson, and Lysell together on a third line like that? That on a third line is some pretty nice stuff.
Yeah. And I think another thing, too, not to get lost in the shuffle, and I know Ty had mentioned it. I think Lysell, like losing Lysell, is also a trigger of the reset that they're doing down in Providence.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, with Ryan Muginel joining Malhotra in Vancouver. Yeah, and it just sucks because I think it's like Lysell's obviously a casualty of what occurred there in the last 2 to 3 seasons, and it's interesting because obviously Don had talked about it in his presser, and it's been discussed. I don't think at the lengths that it should have been. I think the fact that got mentioned before free agency was done on purpose because it is a bit of an embarrassing thing. I mean, just like not that like the AHL, I like my thing is I like the AHL. I like watching it, and like obviously there are markets like whether that be Providence like Charlotte, the Manitoba Moose being like my hometown team. But one of the things that I would always point at is like Colorado Eagles are a competitive team. Colorado
Yeah.
Avalanche, competitive team. The Charlotte Checkers, competitive team. Florida Panthers, competitive team.
Texas Stars,
Charlotte
Dallas
Checkers,
Stars
Texas
for a
Stars,
year.
Dallas Stars. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's like it is a reflection of the team itself. Like Chicago Wolves, that's a turbulent relationship with Carolina. I wouldn't really say it's a good one, but regardless, it's a reflection of the organizations. And
Yeah.
Providence has been a reflection of Boston because they've continuously fallen short in the playoffs. I mean, they were the best team in the AHL this past season, and they
Yeah.
got dusted by a guy who shouldn't have even been playing. But that's a good podcast for Sarah Sivian to go around in circles about,
Yeah.
and then double standard everyone. But yeah, it just sucks. He's a casualty. Ivan Ivan's a good player. I think it's
Mm.
it's a fair return.
Yep.
But
For
obviously, yeah, we're
Crowley,
always
it's a Crowley replacement when that contract's done. He'll be a good fourth line center.
yeah, and like it's yeah, like I said, it's a casualty of what has occurred in Providence, and we'll talk more about that.
Yeah,
I'll let
it's
you
like you
continue.
said, like Sweeney even mentioned like failing Lysell and failing certain prospects, and like this is the thing, like if they're like open about saying like ah we want Poitras on the Bruins next year, want Brunet on the Bruins next year. Well, like I think all that also has to do with like all right, these other guys that'll be coming in will be in the next wave of this new thing. But I know they didn't mention Locke Mellis, but I wouldn't be surprised if like Locke Mellis, like I think Poitras needs waivers this year if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so.
Um, I believe so, but I could check that later. But it just kind of seems like they're like, all right, these are the last two players of that old regime. We got to get them up here, and we got to find them a spot, or we got to move them because it, like you said, it just kind of seems like they're going to a clean slate here down in Providence, which needed to happen. Like you get bounced, like you said, you get bounced back to back years like that. Like it, it's a reflection on the organization on a whole. So we'll see what happens with it. Um, I'm hoping the best for Lysell. Yeah, like Ivan, he's waiver exempt as well. So that's I think up to like 20 days or something like that. So he'll be riding the I-95 a lot. Um, but like I don't even where. Oh, we haven't extended Patry yet. That's why. Um,
Oh yeah, the qualifying offer is still out there.
yeah, it's still out there. But yeah, so we'll see what happens there. And like you said, we're bringing in Ivan at 850K 1 year. It's pretty much like, all right, let's see what you got, kid, kind of deal. They extend Luke Cavill, 25-year goal. He spent most of the year in ECHL last year with the Maine Mariners. Got a couple call ups to Providence, but it's pretty much just goaltender depth at this point. Um, then we get to free agent day where they actually made some signings, and first on the docket, he's back, Cliffy Hockey. What do you think? What do you think, Bobby?
Now that I've slept on it and we've discussed, I think is a premature, maybe an immature reaction on my part. I'm not an immature. I mean, we were shocked.
Mm,
It also didn't help that the visual that the Bruins used was him in the old jersey, so it
yeah,
just seemed fake. But yeah, like I had mentioned, like you can. I mentioned this with the later signing that we'll talk, or the later trade that we'll talk about, but I can't sit there all year and hammer Andrew Peak and lose faith in him, and then Donnie go and replace him, and then get mad at what Donnie replaced him with.
yeah,
Because when I really look at it, like what Peak, I think the things that Peak was lacking. Because I was like, listen, if you can't defend and like hit everything in sight,
yeah,
like Buffalo should be like, especially when Lorai got dusted out of that series. Like Tuck should not have been. There shouldn't have been a moment where Tuck was comfortable with that puck.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And there were
yep,
moments where he was deep in the zone, like hit him. And like Cliffy Hockey's one of those guys where he's like not everyone's favorite. We all remember Game 6 in 2023, but he can skate and he likes to hit. And
yeah.
honestly, for what the adjustments they did in the back end, I'm actually okay with it.
Especially with some of the money that was getting thrown out, like Vinny Desharnais got $4.2 million. Like you got Connor. I didn't say 2 years, 2.25 million. So what's going to be interesting to me is Does Clifton get 75 back? Or does he pick a new number? Because Reichel has 75 currently, and I know he's probably a press box guy most of the time. We'll see what happens, but it's just gonna be interesting there to see if Connor uh because another interesting thing in the fold too, like Clifton's never left. Like he still owns property in Boston. He goes back there every summer. He skates at Warrior to work out, all that stuff. Alex Steves is actually renting out Connor Clifton's house right
It's
now.
so funny.
Just kind of like Charlie McAvoy did with Torrey Krug for a couple years, but when Krug eventually moved on. But yeah, good signing. He'll probably be your sixth D, like in the third pairing, or maybe in the stands a couple times. We'll see what happens with that. How just got so many D now, so we're gonna see what's gonna happen there and how it's all gonna really unfold. But funny enough, the next signing, Bruins extend Jordan Harris, 850K. I really like this one. Like I didn't have a problem with Harris's game last year. I thought he was unfairly thrown into that game six or game five or whatever it was.
Game 5, yeah. Or game, yeah.
Um
Thrown in the
and
series.
yeah, he just got tossed in the series and he had the tough injury that kept him out most of the year, but I really like the way he's got a career in media after his NHL career. He talks very well. He's very well educated. He's got a really good hockey mind. Like he even said, like when he get back in the lineup, like I've been watching up top and seeing what we're doing as a team. Blah blah blah. Just the way he talks about it. Like he's from around Mass, so it's hometown team for him. So I really like that one. Really like that extension of some depth defense.
Yeah.
Um,
Like it just, yeah, mirror what you said. I got to see him. I got to see him play live
mm,
when he scored his first goal, right? Against Tampa.
yeah, yeah,
And yeah, he's just same thing. Like I felt like when he was in the back end, like I felt like that D had a lot better flow. I think we all remember
mm,
that first part of the season where we were like, "Holy shit! Like this
hmm
is there might be something here," and like he was a huge factor for me with
especially with
that. And I
McAvoy.
yeah, and an interesting tidbit about that was like when he went down, that's kind of when the D and the penalty kill kind of started to falter a bit. I think that's because things got a little thrown out of whack. I'm not saying
Yeah.
Jordan Harris is a PK specialist, but just he was obviously part of the sauce that they had
Yeah,
early
and he's
on.
he's a really good puck mover as well. Like it's funny. Like I think I said last year during the year, like if you could put Harris and Asperot together, you would have like Hedman. You know what I mean? Like you'd have the perfect
I
defenseman
remember, yeah.
because Harris is so good at moving his feet. He's so good at moving the puck. He lacks the physicality a little bit, but Asperot, not the best foot speed, very well sound defensively, but also moves the puck well. So you just get this like unbelievable puck moving defenseman that'd be able to put you through the boards. But and then there was a run of AHL signings. Yuri Patura. It's funny, we like owned his rights at one point and like traded them to Vancouver or something.
Yeah, now
And
he's
then
back.
yeah, now he's back. I that seems like like obviously it's an AHL signing. Maxence Garnett, never heard of him. Defenseman, played in Ottawa. Brian Hollonen. Uh,
Doing better than
he's
I
a
would have.
he's a left winger, and then Brendan Gaunce is back, center. He played with us before, but those were the free agent signings. Nothing crazy, nothing too big. It's kind of what we expected, and kind of the trend of the NHL because it did not even feel like it was free agency day, but it felt like trade deadline as well. It was interesting, how it, like when we did the live stream and how everything went down. So some good, some good signings in my opinion. Like you replaced Peak, um, Ivan. Like you had to do something with Lysell and yeah, Harris getting extended. Just good business for me.
Yeah, good, but especially with the other kid we traded before the draft for the fourth. It's killing me. Will Gasso? Was
Who
that the kid?
who?
We traded him to Anaheim.
San Jose?
San
Andre
Jose, was it?
Gasso.
Andrew, yeah. So yeah,
Yeah,
I mean that was
yeah.
handy work
Yeah, I
too. Like
saw that he
the thing I
actually.
liked was like Donnie he didn't let just stuff go to the wayside this time around,
Yeah. Hmm.
which I really
No, he
and
got.
like one of those fourth picks are looking tasty.
Yeah, he got a. He has to rebuild Providence, right? So it was a lot of stuff to help do that. Um, and yeah, it was just like such an interesting day because well, we'll get into the trades now. First trade of the day for the Bruins. Shout out Big Red in the chat of the live stream breaking that Corpusalo. It's out. He's traded to New York Rangers. No money retention. They got Kali Vasanin back, AHLer, and a fourth round pick. How we feeling, Bobby?
I like it. It's a first off, it's a good spot for Corpusalo. We've been very vocal about liking the player, not liking the contract.
Rangers made some moves, dude.
Rangers made some moves. Yeah, it's good. And like I said, like it's hilarious that we never thought about the prospect of Corpusalo going to the. We just like the trade we'll talk about. Like they completely just slipped my mind
Oh
because
yeah,
I just Chris Drury just seemed very inept at his job in the last year or two. That's me being nice,
yeah,
but I like it. And then the fourth round picks are great too because I thought the Bruins did great with their fourth round picks in this last draft. So I
yeah.
mean they're good at
Some of
finding
these
deep talent.
some of these kids at development camp. We'll get to that. We'll probably finish off with development camp because I haven't really dove into it yet and what everyone that went has to say about it. But just from like seeing on Twitter, we'll touch on that later. And then later in the day, the Bruins make another trade with the New York Rangers. And they said, I wonder if this was supposed to be one trade at first. Do you know what I mean?
I Yeah, and maybe just the details just weren't working out, and the fear of
Yeah.
stuff leaking out, and
And like
yeah,
maybe the
it's a
Bruins were
chaotic
in
time.
on players like we know the Werenski thing. They were linked to him. We know the John Carlson thing. We know the Nurse thing. Like it kind of felt like they were like waiting to see if anything else would happen for them before they made this trade. But Bruins make another trade with New York Rangers, bringing in William Borgen. Is it Borgen or yeah, it's Borgen, right?
Bergen, yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. He's got 4.1. They pretty much just swapped out Corpusalo's um what's it called
Money.
cap. Yeah, he's got 4.1 million on the cap for another 3 years. His contract ends in 20 what's it called 2030, right? Yeah, 2030.
Mhm.
And we sent a little rich for my liking, but the more I've looked into it, the more I'm okay with it. We sent our 2027 second round pick and 2028 third round pick, which can turn into a
That's
hold on.
2028 second.
Yeah, it can turn into a 2028 second if Boston makes the Eastern Conference final in 27 or 28 and Borgen plays 50% of the playoff games. Pretty much what I've heard about him is it's like Carlo but he can skate better and hit better. He's not going to put any points up. He's a stay-at-home defenseman. He likes to throw the body around. He's a big boy, I believe, right?
Six
Yes,
three.
6'3", 200 pounds, so it's part of the Bruins MO there. Um and he'll probably be slotting in beside Lin or like a Hampus Lindholm on that second pairing.
Yeah, I like it. I know some Rangers fans and some Bruins fans were just like in shock and in terror over it, and had a lot of people call me many names, which is fine. It's not the first time I've been called names over the Bruins acquiring somebody, but I like it. And like same thing, circling back to what I talked about earlier, like I can't fault Andrew Peak over his game, and I get mad when Don brings in. I mean, regardless of what you say about the Rangers, like brings in a better player. And
Yeah.
my thing is like, I
Oh, the
like this
Rangers
is
just
funny because
sucked last year. His
yeah,
partner for most of last year was Vakanainen.
yeah, who is
He's a good NHL player,
he's
but
good,
he's not
yeah, but
Hampus
he's not.
Lindholm.
And yeah, I was gonna say yeah, like circling like just it's so funny because that trade reminded me. Like the first thing I thought about that trade was like, this is for everyone that hates Mason Lohrei.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, play defense, play defense. Like you're not a forward, you're not offensive. You'll play. We need a defenseman. And then like I was like, well, you have that now.
Yeah.
He's not flashy. He bangs the bodies. He's not afraid to fight. He's actually got a wicked shot. Like his tape of him scoring goals is hilarious because it's like, wow, as defensive minded he is, he's not afraid to snap it when he
Hmm.
chance being. And that's something I think we've missed in the back end. Like we haven't really had someone do that in the back end, like dare I say, since like Dmitry Orlov for like that 4 weeks that we had him, or to even further to that point, like maybe Adam McQuaid during the height of his playing
Yeah.
time in Boston. Like we haven't had a big body guy that's not afraid to just like absolutely highlight reel a puck. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I like it. My idea of that is like he plays with Hampus and tells Hampus like you don't have to worry about being like everything that you struggled with Laura last year. You don't have to do that now. You could be
Yeah.
Hampus Lindholm. I got it.
And for me too, like I need like a third of the season before I have an opinion on this trade. Like I for like when it came in, we were like, who? Like what? Like who is it?
Yeah.
Like for me, I was like, I'm
going
pretty.
going through the Rolodex and like, what did he do again? And
Yeah, like all I remembered was like, oh yeah, when the Rangers were kind of going for it, they brought him in as like a third pairing guy from Seattle, I believe. Um,
mhm.
and I've also heard like he funnels pucks to the net well, which like seems to be a very big uh, what's it called, trend of like Clifton. Yeah, he might not score a lot of goals and he might not get a lot of assists, but he'll throw the puck at the net. He'll throw it in the mixer and he tries to get things going, right? And like you said, it loosens up. Like when I listened to Don Sweeney talk, he was essentially saying like it'll help loosen up. But these two guys coming in will help loosen up McAvoy from as much PK time and like be able to loosen him up and free him up to do other things. And like you said, it'll be able to let Hampus Lindholm be Hampus Lindholm again, the puck moving defenseman that we all, that we brought him in. Like normally when there's a knee injury, other than Marchand, it takes about a year before you get your feet back under you. Like Jeff Merrick says it all the time. Like I don't judge players that get knee injuries off their first season, like recovering on it. It's the year after you see what they do. If they're still like that, oh no. But the trade protection loosens up on him next summer, which, Darnell Nurse just got traded and no money retended. So like money's getting moved around. It
Crazy.
and like I think me and you have both been very like, all right, the Lindholms get one more year to figure it out. And then I'm like, all right, now I'm on the like, all right, maybe it's time to move on train. But for me, like having a lie, like I know everyone's like, oh my god, albatross of a contract. Yeah, Don Sweeney's admitted his back's fucked. They're gonna look at different ways to train this summer and yada yada. Bruins have really good medical staff, so I'm putting some faith in that as well, and really good trainers and um, what's it called sports science. So on that side of things, I that's where I give like him and like you never know. What if this kid comes in and like we get well I say kid, he's only like 3 years younger than me, but he's at least under 30, and you're not giving him like the way I look at it is like I'd rather this guy at 4.1 than Truba at 8.25. That's
100%.
like that's like
As soon as that deal came through, I was like, all right, we're good.
and that's the thing, like if you're so like in my opinion, unless they're rolling, unless they're willing to have 5 million in the press box every night, or like 3 to 5 million in the press box every night, there's probably another trade here coming. I wouldn't be shocked if there's another
Mm-hmm.
trade here coming. Um, like Yoki Haru is the number one. Like because Sweeney said in his presser that like, oh, we might just move Lorai back to the left side now, and it kind of sounded like they're like content with keeping him unless they get what they want for him. So like, you always like, and I listen to all like the Chris Johnson and Elliot Friedman and all these guys, and they're all pretty much saying the same thing. Like, this ain't gonna be a summer. Like, this is it. This is just the beginning of this. And yes, it might not be as intense as it's been these past couple weeks because everyone's trying to get things done, trying to get things done. Probably will be kind of quiet over the holidays here. Well, like we had Canada Day the other day. I know it's July, like Independence Day this weekend. It's probably gonna be a little quiet, but like Chris Johnson was like, man, I feel bad for all my followers because like I'm going to Europe this year. I just had a baby, so like I got a dad duties are back on. But like it's one of those years I can't just chuck my phone in the lake and like I'm gonna have to be like kind of low key working this whole summer because there's a lot of names that are still not off the free agency board. There's a lot of trades that didn't happen that still need to get done. Like, Larkin's still in Detroit. What happens, and I'm not saying he's coming to the Bruins, but essentially what I'm getting at is like this is not your opening night roster.
Yeah, no, there's no way. There's no chance. I do have one more note just on Will Borgen, and obviously there's more to it because we'll get to the other trade that we did. Uh, I think before the do we
Yeah,
cover
I'm
JJ's
saving
trade
it
for
for
last week?
last because it's the most
Okay,
spicy. Yeah, yeah. It was draft night trade.
my apologies. Not
No,
not to
yeah, yeah.
spoil your set, but I think another interesting thing too, especially with Connor Clifton, and I mean it's not an official advisory role or what his role is yet, but it's Kevin Adams was a play. He was the director of player personnel when the Buffalo Sabres drafted Will Borgen,
Yeah.
and it's interesting that we have not one, not two, but three Kevin Adam either draft picks or player signings. Connor Clifton being the one they signed in 2023. So it's interesting that he's got this role, and obviously we don't know the role yet, but that'll come when we talk about JJ. But it's like this guy's came into the building, nice tie, nice
Buffalo
suit.
kicked the
And he's
shit out of you in the first round. Just remember that.
a lot of revenge, a lot of
Yeah.
yeah. So I do like it, and like the thing I like about the Will Borgen trade that I think I was pissed at like a lot of Bruins fans were just like, you didn't watch this guy play last year. I'm like, no, you're right, I didn't. I watched 5 Rangers games last year. I watched the 4 times we played them, and I watched them play like the
The
Jets
Winter
one time.
Classic.
Yeah, or the Winter Classic. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Like
it's like
the
you're
game I
right.
had
I
to
did not
watch. The
watch this
only
team.
game that was on.
Yeah. So yeah, I apologize if I don't like I don't know. But
I don't
what I
have
was gonna
Will
say is
Borgen in my bio. I'm sorry.
yeah, sorry. I remember him in Seattle. I liked him in Seattle. That was a fun Seattle team.
Yeah.
But
He was
I
paired
love
with
the
Lowe's.
conditions. The conditions of if you make the East final in 2027 or 2028. Like cuz for me what that screams to everyone else in the Atlantic, whether it's the Buffaloes, the Florida Gators, the Tampas, it's like we're also not good. Yeah, we get it. You got the Monstars in Florida. Yeah, you got John Carlson in Tampa. Like Buffalo's here to stay. Montreal's probably here, but like they're letting everyone know, like, hey, we can start at this Atlantic run.
Yeah.
We were the first team that everyone was like, oh shit, that division's kind of like
Oh
because people
yeah.
forget it was all Pittsburgh, Washington, and Philly before that.
Yeah, like it was
Boston was the
us.
first one where it was like, you go through us, baby.
Yeah.
You know?
Dude, Carolina.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Like,
Like they won their
Carolina
cup,
had
yeah.
to learn how to win through us.
Yeah.
You know, when they
So
beat us, I'm sure when that DVD comes out, I'm sure some of the guys will be like, when we first beat Boston in 2022,
yeah, we thought we had something finally.
the belief in the
Yeah.
room was like, all right,
No,
let's
I get what
start
you're
building.
saying. I get in it. These moves give the message like we're not tanking. Like we're not trying to if the kids aren't ready and it is what it is and it's a growing year, that just is what it is. But
Yeah.
you are not we're going to make it as hard as possible for you to score a goal on us. We have one of the best goalies in the league, probably the second best goalie in the Atlantic behind Vasilevsky. I'd say like he's still the king.
I'd say so. Yeah,
Yeah,
comfortable
he's still
saying
the
that, yeah.
king. Yeah, but you have a top 5 goalie in the league, second best goalie in the Atlantic. We saw goalies have good playoffs, but like, is Dobich gonna still be that guy when the lights aren't as bright? Like, there's some guys that just show up in those moments, right? And don't get me wrong, it's always
Sure.
good to have a goalie that's a psycho in the playoffs. That's how we learned Swayman was our guy. Um,
Yeah.
but these moves just kind of tell me like, all right, we might not score all the goals, but well, we'll get to that in a second. But we're definitely going to keep the puck out of the net. And you got a whole year of Sturm's total hockey. You're bringing in a defensive specialist in McIlvain, who is really close with Sturm. Our PK's reinvented. Spotter's got our power play going. Chris Kelly's just kind of there to smooth things over and be the Boston guy at this point, which I think he just wants to be an assistant coach. I don't think he has like plans to do anything else because you never hear his name. Anything I could be wrong about that, but um, yeah. So it's gonna be it. Just these moves kind of told me like, yeah, okay, yeah, you guys are loading up, but like it's my favorite line in any movie ever. I'm not looking for the best players, Craig. I'm looking for the right ones.
On
That
the spot is jersey. Love it.
Yep, fucking like superstar teams don't always look at the Russia. Like look at Russia against the NHL. I know it's years and years ago, but like superstar teams aren't. You need a team, man, and you know, I'm sure it's gonna go well in Florida. I'm sure Tampa's gonna be fine. John Carlson fit like glove. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
you know,
It's nice. It's nice to know that they're not running it back when it seemed like they were going to. Like when
yeah,
Cam was on Jimmy Fallon while everything was happening, there was that moment where I was like, "Holy shit, they're actually going to sign Andrew Peak."
yeah, I know,
Like
yeah,
he's literally doing game shows
I thought
while
about
the
that too.
Atlantic is transforming. Like it's literally like the classic like late 90s end of the world movie. Like every other like scientist is working with their like world leaders and they're like, this is gonna happen. And it like shows the United States and they're like, well, we're going golfing this weekend.
Yeah,
And it's like,
yeah,
no, President, like look at the and they're like, no, it's fine. We have a plan. We have things in line for that. We have Andrew Peak. Like it
yeah.
literally felt like I was like, oh, dude, like that Buffalo series is just that's it. That's gonna
I'm
be
so
that's
curious
all we're
what
gonna get for the next 5 years.
I'm so curious what Peak's gonna get to in the open
I mean,
market because like you saw Vinny Darnay get like my thing is I think they looked at it like all right we signed Peak we know what or like we extend Peak at probably 5 times 5 in my opinion that's probably what he's close to asking to just seeing the money get tossed around or we sign this or we trade for this guy and give up a couple assets but hopefully we're good by then so they're later picks and we get a guy who's like proven in what he can do and all the things that we wanted Peak to do a little bit more, he already does them. It
hmm.
sounds like he's a bet. I know Peak randomly would have like his moments where he'd just go full Bobby Orr, which
Yeah,
was like awesome to watch, but it was too far from often. Is that the saying?
it
It's
was
far from
good
few.
last far from few. Yeah, it was good
Yeah.
when this like when all hope was lost.
Yeah.
But
And
when
see,
this season, when they had that moment that season, they had that run, and all of a sudden it was like, oh, you're back in the mix, and Toronto's going backwards.
yeah.
Then the Andrew Peak shit really got highlighted because it was like, we don't need this right now.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we need you to like. I think got mentioned the other day. Like I was talking with V Money, and I was like, oh, like I was like talking about coming back from the bus from a Bomber game one time and being like, I'm not that big of a fan because these guys are like, they're people like almost like at blows, like fighting on the bus, talking about the game. And I was like, I'm so glad I don't do it for the Bruins. And she just goes, you did throw your phone after that one game, and then I like triggered like the Calgary game, and I was like, oh, fucking peak.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm so
And that's
glad
the
he's
thing.
gone.
Lori ended up taking over his role on the right side essentially. Like
Yeah.
they both weren't working in their spots and they got flipped essentially and it worked for a bit but Lori was battling injuries. Peak's just Peak. Like that's the thing, like the Peak's just Peak is now Cliffy Hockey. And it's like, well, that's just
Mhm.
Cliffy Hockey. And it's like I'd rather pay a guy 2 million to do that and be a bottom pairing guy who's just gonna hit everything in sight and eat pucks for dinner. Which like, yeah,
I'll
Peak
say
did
that
that, but
too.
dude, the amount of times I just had flashes in my head of Peak trying to block shots or something, and it always ended up in the back of our net. Always.
Yeah, he was
Always.
worse luck with it. I'll say not to be dogs on peak, but I'll just say that I think you summed it up there, and that's what it was for me. It's just like midway through this year, I was like, Andrew Peak is Andrew Peak.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm
But
the
are you
annoying
paying five
Lorite
times five for
truther.
that?
No, no, I don't
Exactly.
smoke crack, and
Yeah.
I know I'm the annoying like Lorite truther who's like twice his age, so it's kind of weird. Like I'm well aware that that's who I am online. I'm sure he's like, what the hell? But it's like with Laura, I'm like that. I still see there's room for growth there, and there's just so many times this season where I feel like Andrew Peak's one of those guys where I'm like, we have to change where you're at, and what your position is back there, because this guy who's entering his veteran status does still wants to be this offensive minded, and it's like you're not that, buddy. Like
Yeah.
I know we
And
traded an offensive minded defenseman for you, but that's not what you are. Like go back to 2024, dude. You were great.
yeah, he
Just do
was.
that.
Yeah.
Just
And
be that and do that.
that's another thing too is like at 2.75, I don't mind paying Peak for what he's doing. But I
Mm-hmm.
like paying Clifton. The more I've slept on it and chewed on it, I like paying Clifton 2.25 in an era where Vinny Desharnais, who is a really good defensive defenseman, but like has like those like Dion Phaneuf moments where you're like, oh my god, you just lost us the game like way too often. Like great
Yeah.
steady fourth third pairing D. I know I've been shitting on Vinny Darnay, and I shouldn't be. I'm glad he got his bag. I love when players get
Oh
paid. It's
yeah.
not my team
Always.
even paying him. I'm just like, holy crap, that's a big contract for a guy who literally eats pucks. But you're getting that for half the price with Clifton and half the years.
I'll also say this too, and I know it's a completely different team and maybe unfair to compare the two, but man, when I did watch Pittsburgh last year, one of the most noticeable players, aside from Parker Wotherspoon, was Connor. There was so many times where I was like, "You can't do that in Boston. You
Yeah.
didn't do this." Like, where I
He
think I
played
tweeted
great.
like
There was
during,
one game he played great against us in Pittsburgh this year.
yeah, it might have even been that game where he like jumped somebody, and I
Yeah.
was like, "Where was this against Florida?"
Yeah.
Like, like, oh, you're a tough guy now. Like, where was the tough guy when we like? There was one. You just need to take out one guy in that series, and no one had the cajones to do it.
Yeah.
So like, I was like, I don't know. Maybe who knows? Maybe he saw that tweet and he's like, I go back to Boston.
Yeah. Well,
I can't have this idiot from Winnipeg.
do you see in this
Chirping me.
interview they were like, oh, noticed you're wearing the Boston shirt, like he was wearing like a Boston training shirt or whatever. He was like, yeah, funny enough, it Clifton's so funny. You can tell like
Oh, he
he's
is
just like
funny. Yeah, he's
I was
good
watching
hanging.
that interview, like he couldn't even look at the camera. He's just like looking away the whole time, like talking. I'm like,
He had
oh,
no idea where to look.
I know another
Hands coming
autist
up.
when I see one. I know another
I don't know what
autist
to
when
do with
I
my
see.
hands.
Yeah,
Just
and
keep them
it's
down,
just
Cliffy.
it was funny because somebody or he was like, yeah, my wife said like, put a collared shirt on for this, like make sure you look nice. And he was like, nope, I know exactly what I'm wearing. The fact that Buddy still had that in his closet, like it was my version of Montgomery being like, oh yeah, I just pulled this St. Louis windbreaker out of my closet. And I was like, oh great, you had that at home when we lost the Stanley Cup to them in Game 7, and you just had that in your closet. I would have been
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'm a different guy than that. I'm like, I'm ride or die, so that kind of stuff bugs me. And like, there's certain players that play for the Bruins, like Crowley. He's like, I never stopped being a Bruin, even when he went to Columbus. He's like, he went there,
He
his
played like a
hometown,
Bruin.
to yeah, and he tried to bring the culture. Like Fantilli talks about how that's why I'm so hoping Fantilli will be a Bruin one day because the Bruins were his favorite player. And Fantilli talked about on Chicklets how Crowley won't shut up about like this is what the Bruins do. This is what Bergeron does. Like, this is what we got to do. Like, and some guys just never stop being a Bruin.
Mhm.
And
Well,
that's the
I'm sure if
I can't wait for
Florida wins it
Boosie's
again.
take. Boosie's take on
Oh
Clifton
yeah,
because that's gonna be
we're
so
all just have
different
to
than
mute,
ours.
crack a beer, and just let him rip it.
But so we'll get to the big trade, the one that will round this whole conversation out, and it kind of wraps the bow on where this organization's going. Very left field trade. The Bruins receive a 2027 fourth round pick, a 2026 sixth round pick. No, I'm just kidding. That was just a fucking draft trade. The Bruins got JJ Mother effing Paterka from the Utah Mammoth for our 2026 23rd overall pick and Florida's 2028 first round pick, which is top 10 protected. Good bit of business by Don Sweeney there, getting that protected just in case the wheels fall off this Florida thing. Which I don't know. They bring in no. The more I hear people talk about them bringing in Markstrom and what a bad idea it was, I'm like they might have fucked themselves, but with one move. Like you get a guy who can't
Yeah,
keep the puck out of the net. That's hockey. You gotta keep the puck out of the net. That's the whole point of the fucking sport. But there's also the like big goalies make accidental saves, and sometimes big goalies get protected in systems like Florida, yada yada. But putting that top 10 protection on there, JJ Peterka, 24 years old. He's got 3 years left on the deal at $7.7 million. Like we were saying about Kevin Adams, this was the third guy, and it kind of feels like, like the Bruins do that. Like a lot of teams do this kind of thing, but the Bruins are doing it differently this time. Before, it's like we got beat by Florida, we got to beat Florida, we got to think like Florida. But it wasn't like we got to think like Bill Zito. It's like we got to think like the guys on the ice, and I think that was the misconception of what happened in those seasons leading up to where we sold everybody off. I can't even say last year now. It's technically 2 years ago. Whatever, you know what I mean. When we traded Marchand.
Yeah.
Um, this feels more like we got to think like Kevin Adams. You see that
Mhm.
team that this guy put together? Like, it's fast, it's gritty, it didn't click when he was there, but sometimes it takes moving on to for those things to happen, or a little bit of change of scenery, or like look at Jeff Gorton, man. Everywhere he goes, including here, like he's always done the same type of thing, right? And it kind of feels like this is their way of being like, we need to think like these new teams again. And it sounded like that this trade just kind of fell on the Bruins' lap, or they were poking around it, Sweeney said. But then he said Billy Armstrong was really great and kept them in the loop the whole time. Essentially, what was going on was Utah was making sure that they would be able to get. Sorry, Utah was making sure that they would be able to get the pick that Detroit wanted, and the guy was still good. They wanted JP Herbert, the guy I wanted, and they ended up drafting him. Michigan boy, makes a lot of sense. He's going to Michigan State next year. I actually love it. I've been keeping up with him a little bit. I'm like, this is a guy I'm gonna hate to watch score goals against the Bruins for the next 20 years. But they wanted to make sure he was there before the trade, and that's why it came down to the final buzzer. And I guess Billy picked up the phone. He called Donnie. Yep, send us 23. We'll send you Paterka. Give us that Florida pick. Let's tie the bow on it now. It was pretty much a 3-team trade. They sent it to Detroit for
Right.
Casa backup, which they needed. Everyone, it pretty much Detroit got our pick without going through us, and we got a guy without getting somebody off Detroit we didn't want. Type situation is essentially
Mhm.
what I got from it. But he's skilled, he's fast, he's good on the rush, he scores goals. He's got great hockey IQ. A lot of people are like, oh, he had a down year last year. He's 22, or he had 68 points at,
25 goals.
yeah, he had 68 points at 22 years old. I think he had like 10 less points last year, something like that. But, this is exactly the type of the player the Bruins are looking for. I want to tip it. I didn't know Paterka was available. I'd rather Paterka. He's
Yeah.
younger. He plays the exact same game, and he plays the right side as a left shot, but can also play the left side, which the Bruins love two position players.
Yeah, I don't get it at all. I mean, if you want that, why don't you go get Pavel Dorofeyev? Just kidding. No.
Yeah. Such
Declan's
a
killing
good vid,
me.
dude.
Declan's
How they were
killing me,
fucking with him
dude.
is so funny. He was like, "Can you stop
Ew,
doing those?"
it's not me.
Yeah.
um, yeah, I think I was same mind that set where I was like, I think it was like Elliot's like sounds like Boston and Utah are talking. I was like,
It was like right when
I was
we,
like, what? Like, yeah, you were about to jump on. I was like, swapping picks, maybe. Like, are we done
are
with
we,
Corpy?
yeah, we moving
And then it was
up.
like JJ Paterka. I think like, it was a shame we weren't on because I think both of us were like,
Yeah.
oh. But my first thought was like, you gave up on him, or okay, all right, I'm there.
Hmm.
If you don't like him, yeah, we'll take him. Like we
And then
have beer, we don't have sodas.
the Kevin Adams news dropped what, like 5 minutes later.
And you're like, oh, okay, so maybe a little regret there, maybe. Not saying Josh Jones is not a good player. He's a great player.
I wonder if Kevin
Phenomenal. Love
Adams called Sweeney and was like, "You want to beat Buffalo in the first round next year? Hire me."
Well, I was gonna say that too. I think
I would
yeah, the
love to
Kevin
have been
Adams
fly in
thing,
the
some of
wall.
the differences, right? Oh,
Like,
because it was like I'm sure at first it was probably like that what chaos interview.
yeah,
Like he was, I'm thinking maybe like Sweeney's probably like, oh, Patrick Kane, look what we do with Arvidsson. Maybe we could do the Kane and
yeah.
Evan Gold probably, hey yo. Like, I really Patrick Kane. What was that? What is that? Who was doing that? I
Yeah.
was like, why are you yelling at me? I don't know. It's them.
Yeah.
It's um.
And
I
Evan
feel like it's
Gold's
a little
like,
bit of
"Oh
a
no, I've got Kevin Adams on speakerphone," and we're like, "Oh, okay."
yeah. The JJ Paterka thing was interesting because that's when it went from being like, oh, they're gonna run it back. This is awful to being like, man, can we get a live feed of David Pasternak right now?
Yeah.
Because you
Or
could
even
tell he was
Marco
probably like
Sturm. You know, Sturm was
Marcus
like fist
Sturm.
pumping.
Yeah, like another
It's
German in there, but it's just
exact,
like
dude. It's the
you
get
literally
the
the
puck.
night before you were
Yeah,
like, we don't have
get the
speed.
yeah.
Guys don't come with speed, and then Paterka's like, I'm pretty fast, bro.
Dude, it's the exact player for the philosophy that Stern wants to go off. We get the puck and then we fucking party. That's the type of player he is. The second the puck's on his stick, it's like much must watch hockey. Like I remember watching him in the World Juniors years ago, being like, "Damn, man, this kid's fucking sick." Like we were still in our like trading our first for Bertuzzi phase, right? So like that
Yeah,
was it
we're
wasn't
not
even on
done
my
yet.
radar, but I'm just like, damn, someone's gonna get. There's always one German in the World Juniors that catches my eye, and I'm like, this guy's going top 15, this guy's going top 20, and he's gonna get picked way lower than he should be. But he's gonna have a great NHL career, and there's always like you look at Mo Sider, people laughed at Donnie or at Stevie Y. They
You
were calling him
guys,
Stevie Bong Rips, and he's probably go number one in that draft. I don't shoot me. I don't remember the drafts like some people do, but like you know what I mean. Like him going three. Sorry, is very justified at this point. And yeah, it's just getting Paterka. Like you get you
let
didn't
me
blue ball
let me
us.
let me quickly just tell you who went before him. Mort Sider, Morty
Wait,
Sider.
what year was it first?
2019. So that's why we don't. That's why it's a little blurry. John
Okay.
Beecher draft. Number one was Jack Hughes. Number two was Capo Caco. Number three was Kirby Doc. Number four was Bowen Byram. Number five was Alex Turcotte. Oh, that's rough. And then yeah, Mo went sixth.
He went
And everyone
six.
was
Oh
like,
yeah,
"You're
because Leon went third. That's why I thought he
yeah."
went
And then
third.
everyone was freaking out. And then his
So he
cousin
goes second in
Joker.
that draft behind Jack
100%.
Hughes. Yeah, yeah. And let's say thing
Crazy.
with I don't even know. Do you go pull up Paterka's draft quick?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because now I'm just curious. I want to do a little bit of an exercise here. Sorry for everybody listening.
Bro. What the fuck? 22, right? 22. Why did it not pull it up? Not the NFL draft. Bad radio. Ayo!
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
JJ Paterka. Was it not 2022?
I don't know. Hold on. I'm trying to see on Puckpedia, but it's not showing me either. This is the
No,
worst.
2020.
Oh,
I
it's the
got you.
Lysell draft.
Why was I thinking? Yeah, so Paterka went. Oh my god, this is so. We're gonna get destroyed.
Did he not even go in the first round? JJ Paterka. Dude, Reichel was in that draft too.
I'm glad you brought that up because yeah, he was the second round of that draft.
Wow, so we could
He
have
went
oh,
34.
could we? Oh no, we don't have it. We didn't have our 2022 pick.
No, we could have
Or
picked him at
2020,
27,
sorry.
but we traded that pick to get
To
Hampus
get
Leno.
yes, correct. And that guy, Jacob
Or is
Pearl,
that
has
right?
not.
No,
Jacob Pearl's
not
played
Hampus.
one game in the NHL.
That's on. No, I think it was it was the Andre. That's even worse. That's the Kasha trade pick.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, you're right. So he went in the second round, eh? So did Brock Faber that year.
Crazy.
Dude, you
I
know
will say this
who
too. Yeah, go.
Mason Lohrei we took in that draft.
That's right.
And Husnudinov also went 37th in that draft. He went 3 picks behind JJ Paterka.
Crazy.
What a crazy. Wow, just to look back on that is like nuts.
Couple
But
buttes.
anyways,
I was gonna say with the JJ
JJ
Paterka
Paterka
stuff,
goes way higher in this draft. He's
way
a
higher.
way higher. And it's like it's the return on investment, right? Like it's the type of player that Don Sweeney's been looking at. And oh, that's what I was gonna say before we went on this. Like I don't know how many people skipped that.
I just picture Boosie biting his nails, like, "Oh,
Oh
come on,
yeah,
guys, get through it, get to the point."
I know. Like last year he had 25 goals, 22 assists. Yeah, it's a bit of a down year, but he also didn't get PP1 minutes, which he's going to get in Boston. And like it's like people are gonna be like, "Oh, well, Hagen should be on your first PP unit." It's like, well, then maybe a guy like Elias Lindholm shouldn't be on your first PP unit. Maybe Pavel Zacha can be on your second PP. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's where you get these young kids their reps is on the power play, and Paterka's gonna be playing first. Like Sweeney already said it. Like he's gonna be great on. He can play either side of the wall. He can play up top. He's got a good shot. So what I was gonna say though before we went on that horrible radio tangent there, we didn't get. I thought we were getting blue balled again. Last year they told us we were getting speed and skill, and they brought in a bunch of, and then they made this trade, and I was like, all right, man, like this is exactly
Yeah,
what
we're
we
doing it.
needed. And like anybody mad giving up those two firsts, like I will give up two late firsts for a player like JJ Paterka any day of the week and twice on Sunday.
Yeah, and I think my favorite part about this whole ordeal with the, because number one, I agree with you. I would give up those picks any day of the week for JJ Paterka. But my favorite part about this and the trust that I currently have with Marco Sturm, he's gonna get JJ Paterka and a full season to play with
Yeah.
Lucas Reichel, and now he can have like Reichel mirror his image, his play off of Paterka. So there's a potentiality. You have a JJ Paterka, and then you have the Paterka light just below him
Yeah.
on your depth chart, which is insane. Because it's like
Hmm.
if Marco Sturm can do the
Reichel's
thing
even
that everyone's
faster.
been trying to do with Reichel, yeah, like it's if he can get Reichel to that place that Chicago thought they could get him at, Vancouver thought they can get him at, just two organizations that just don't have the capabilities and the resources to do such a thing right now.
Hmm.
Like
Oh
come
yeah.
January, like this could be the thing where like people look back and they're like, give Don Sweeney GM of the year, give
Yeah.
Marco Sturm like the head coach. You know what I mean? Like it's that kind of potentiality with these right now that I'm like, yeah, like oh yeah, like well, Florida, you gave Florida's pick, like we trade Brad Marchand for Paterka, and I was like, I would have done that.
I would have
If you
done
would have went
that
up to me at the deadline and said we trade Brad Marchand, I would have been like, yeah. If you like, if we
with this
can't get rid of him,
extension too.
yeah, like
He's under 8 million, top six forward. That's 24 years old and goes exactly in line with what you're trying to do here. Like it kind of, your core now. It's
yeah,
Pasternak.
and one more.
Oh, sorry. Go.
Sorry, go on. I was gonna say
No.
one more thing before you list off the line. He stays healthy.
Yeah, he plays. He plays a lot of games, which is
77 to
good.
82 games. That's it.
Yeah.
Like no diss at Victor Arvidsson, but that was a huge knock on him.
Oh yeah,
But yeah,
that's
you were
what.
saying the core.
No, I was just gonna say like it's pretty evident like your core Pasternak 30. Unfortunately, Lindholm 31. I'm not saying unfortunately because it's not his fault he got these injuries and his game fell off. I'm just saying like that it's just the fact that he's part of your core. He's not going anywhere, and we'll touch on something about speculation of somebody that wouldn't waive to go to Edmonton later. But you got Pasternak, Lindholm, Zaka, Swayman, McAvoy, Lindholm, Zadorov. I'd say that's your like core, right? Like, and they're
Mm-hmm.
27 to 32 years old with a lot Hampus Lindholm being the oldest. That he's just turned 32, I believe. And then you got your fourth line, which is just like Jano, Corrali, Kaslik, probably Ivan, and Locke Mellis getting swapped in and out there every so often. But then the rest of your players, other than Middlestat, who's 27, which I think they're probably going to move off him before season starts. That's just my opinion. They're 20 to, like, Hagens is 19, sorry. They're 19 to 24 years old, with Paterka being the oldest at 24. That is your new core. That is the core you're
It's crazy.
integrating with this other core. Like, would I love Lori to be included in that? Yes, but we'll see what happens there going forward. Um, But like just to show this before we get into for all the people on YouTube, and we'll talk about it as best as or we'll obviously describe it as best as we can. But we're looking at the lines here, and they have them a little differently than I'd put them. But essentially, your depth chart is Paterka, Lindholm, Pasternak, Middlestat, Saka, Geeky, Hagens, Minton, Husnudinov, Jeannot, Corrali, Kastelik, Lorai, McAvoy, which if he's there at the beginning of the season, I want to give that another try. Lindholm, Borgen, Zadorov, Yoki Haru, goalies, Swayman, DiPietro, press box, Asimont, Clifton, Asperot. I think Clifton takes Yoki Haru's spot. This is just what Puckpedia has as like overall depth of the roster. But like that's not a bad roster when you really break it down. Like all these people like all lottery team. I'm like, in what world? Like have you seen what Chicago and Vancouver and Calgary and like some of these teams look like? Like even Toronto, like, okay, you went outside in a million bottom six. Like it works in the sense that like you're competitive, but like, you know, who says McKenna's going to be a superstar right away? Like, you know, Easton Cowan, what if he has a sophomore slump? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like even Buffalo, you know, they lost some like pretty good players. Yeah, they replaced them where they could, but like, I'd say we're still a bubble team, and that's okay where this team's at right now. You didn't give up any massive assets. You brought in players of need, and you still have an overflow of depth that you can move off from. Like to me,
Mhm.
like I'm moving Hagens up a line, moving Middlestat, bringing Reichel in to that left third line. Probably bump Lindholm down with him, have Reichel, Lindholm, Husnudinov as your third line, and then you do some sort of combination of Hagens, Minton, Geeky, Pasternak, and Paterka and Zaka.
Well, like even if this was the opening night roster, which obviously we've all agreed it's not going to be, it's one of those rare cases where like every line has chemistry.
Yeah,
Like Corral, like that fourth line, you could roll that out 82 games, and teams are
yeah.
gonna hate it. Mitten, Husadinov had shown all last season that there's something there. Hagens can just piggyback off that and learn. Like Zaka, Middlestat with Geeky, that like that we literally saw that work through spurts. And like Pasta can play with anybody. When Lindholm's healthy, the pass Lindholm thing's awesome, and Paterka is only going to be like more of a spoil for Lindholm to play with.
Hmm.
Yeah, like I don't know. Yeah, the lottery thing was so funny because I was like, I'm pretty negative sometimes, but that's like insane.
Yeah,
I
I
got one more
know.
note to say about Paterka. Just one more thing because I think it's funny just to get people really greased up here and get them horny. He's 24. I mean, Nathan Horton was 25 when we traded for him in 2010.
Yeah,
And like what he did in his short period of time. We're talking about like, you know what I mean? It's just like and that was the player that they needed at the time. They needed a
yeah, it was.
grizzly power forward who can score
Yeah,
dirty goals, and we needed a speedy player who can play off the rush who can score goals.
yeah, yeah.
Like
No, you're
it's
right.
you know,
It's a good comparison. Honestly, it's a great comparison.
and it's just like it's just sick. I don't know. Yeah, I didn't get the lottery shit. I didn't
I don't get it
like
either.
if you truly think they're going to be a lottery team, something you know something about Swayman that we don't, and he's not playing next
Hmm.
year, and that Deep Pietro wave that everyone's riding isn't as trusty as people think it is.
Oh
That's
yeah.
that's the only way you become a lottery team.
And see, this is the thing too. Like the Bruins, they traded away their what's it called second round pick next year, their third round pick next year. What they've traded, and they don't have a third round pick the year after. You got to think some of these guys are gonna get moved for some draft capital to like just
Yeah,
at least
you're gonna fill up
be
the
in everyone.
cupboard.
Like yeah, like I wouldn't be shocked if you see Middlestat just like move to a Vancouver or Chicago or something for a third round pick. And the reason why I say that is because like next year you might have two first round picks. I'm really curious how that ends up because if Toronto bottoms out again and I feel like they give the pick to Philly either way, even if they bottom
They
out because
do,
it's like
yeah.
if it's top 10, they can choose who they give it to. So I'm just been planned that it's probably a 28 either way. But if that's the case, you need to go get a second or third because, like, yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm glad that we got Paterka. I'm glad that we got Brogan to help solidify what we needed. But you're also not in a position. You have too much. It's good to have depth. And like Sweeney keeps reminding me, the first like 3 week or first at least 2 weeks of the season, McAvoy's not playing a game. He's suspended
Right.
for
Yeah.
6 games. So
6 games.
I wouldn't be shocked if you don't see Yoki Haru traded until someone goes down in the first 2 weeks. And the team goes, all right, Boston's got an overflow right-handed D. Like,
Mhm.
we do need a Lori. Or, like, it's sometimes it takes until the first couple weeks of the season to be like, shit, we didn't think about this. We do need something like this, right? And that's where trades open up and all that. But I wouldn't be shocked to see them move off of like next year. We only like if because you're not like I said, you're in a position where you need to be filling the cupboard constantly, especially with this young core. Like, yeah. Like we're gonna get developed camp. Letourneau has really been standout, and it sounds like he'll be joining in the Bruins this year, which I think what was taken into consideration when talking about Arvidsson. Obviously, JJ Paterka is gonna um, take over like Arvidsson's point production and all that stuff, and it's a big upgrade. But I think them walking away from Arvidsson has a lot to do with the Letourneau and like them wanting to bring him in this year or this upcoming season. But like next year, if you let's just say Philly gets the pick, you have a first, two fourths, a sixth, and a seventh. That's like what like cup contenders like draft cupboard or draft capital looks like. So like I wouldn't be shocked to see them try and bring in another pick or something, or maybe a young player that they think they could get in the second or third round next year. I don't know, like the type of player they'd be looking for. But yeah, other than that, man, I don't know. I don't really have the one thing that is weird to me with the middle stat thing. Like I really did think they'd be moving off him, but like they waited. Now he has a 9 team no trade list. I know it's not that big, and it's probably just like what I'm worried is like if it's like oh it's Canadian teams, it's like Vancouver could really use a guy like Millsap. But if they don't have Chicago on there, a cap
Mhm.
dump's a dump, right? And we still haven't seen a Zaka an extension. It sounds like they're working through that right now. Asamont's almost making 1.5. You see what some of these guys are getting paid. Like, I don't think you need Asamont and Steve's on your roster. Steve's making 1.6 up in the press box. So, and that's just going to become normal price for scratch guys. Like,
Mhm.
you're gonna see Darnay's $4.2 million sitting up in the press box a couple times this year, and that's just it's the price of business these days and where the cap's
Yeah.
going. The league's changing, honestly.
Yeah. No, that's just
Okay,
the
but
sorry.
no,
Um,
it's okay.
yeah, just the reality of it. Yeah. Um. Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, the Pavel Zacha thing. I'm not. I mean, you can sell if you can sell when he's at his highest value, but
I know
I'm
I'm
not.
so torn on it because we're gonna have $34 million in cap space next year, and like, what's seven of that? Like, I don't even check the UFAs yet because like it doesn't matter. Like,
Yeah,
in my
everyone's gonna be
opinion,
signed by
yeah,
March.
like that. Yeah, that doesn't matter until right before the trade deadline, in my opinion. Just because in January you can start negotiating with players like your full roster. Um, like how what we did with Zaka, we signed him to that 1 year deal, and then we extended him on a handshake January. So that there's no rush on that, obviously. But I don't like looking at like the UFA market this laid out. But there could be players there but also like giving. I really think Zaka would take a hometown discount, especially if you locked him up on years. Like if I'm the Bruins, I'm like, what's your number? And I want to find the overall number out, and I go, all right, we're doing it for 8 years. And I
Yeah,
just say fuck it. And at
yeah.
the
Do the
last
Florida thing.
yeah, the last 4 years of it, no trade protection. That's just the name of the game. But we'll give you a full no trade clause, not no movement clause. We'll give you a full no trade clause in the first 4 years. I think that's like, and like let's just say Because I keep saying like AFP analytics, like I think they said 6 times 7, which would be roughly 42 million. So let's say you go 45 million divided by 8. If you could get him at 5.625 for 8 years, you don't even blink at that contract. I don't even know if it
Yeah,
ends up being a bad contract.
I don't think it
Like
would.
I
I
don't
don't.
think he'd
I
finish it, but you know,
I'm glad we're talking about it because I know that I think that's a lot of the disappointment from the draft and free agency so far in the summer is people being like, "Yeah, I haven't moved on from Zach yet." And I just like I don't see why you would like unless
it's
you
hard
got
to
something
find
offered
him.
back. It's yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm like he's insurance. What
He
if what
plays
if
all
Laterno
every
doesn't pan
situation.
out for next year? What if Potter
Yeah.
doesn't pan out? What if Lindholm goes down and then you're forced to play one of those guys? Like there's just so many variables. Like what if Pasta goes on a dry spell? They've seen it so many times where Pasta's been struggling, so they throw Zach up there to get him going again.
Well,
And
think
it's
of
just
it.
like his dry spurts aren't worth moving on from if he's willing to go him
Hmm.
down to scout, for my
And he put up
opinion.
30 goals this year. He's
Yeah,
getting
and he was a
better
dog in the
every
playoffs.
year. Yeah, like he's getting better every year. And that, like, I hate when people are like, oh, he didn't show up in the playoffs. I'm like, well, no, Middlestat had a really bad first round, and Arvidsson got hurt, and then that line that we relied on was gone. Like, you can't.
Yeah, and once
Zaka's
they were gone, that was a different series.
Yeah, and like Zaka plays all situations. He's this guy we're saying he is, but he can't run a line. But he's not David fucking Pasternak. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like he can't just like run a like. I'm even just sitting here thinking, I'm like, man, like what if by March your second line's Hagen, Zaka, and Laterno? You know what
it's
I mean?
crazy. Like
Like that's even your
and
third
Zach is the
line.
kind of guy. He's the kind of guy I would trust to run with them and to
It
show them and like
and you can let Laterno take draw. Like you know what I mean? Like I want Zaka if we're extending him for him to understand we love you in the middle. You're gonna be in the middle as long as you can be, but we got like we're gonna do that so then you can like play. Like you look at Claude Giroux, he's been centerman his whole life. His feet kind of going out from underneath him. He's almost 40 now. Just happens. It's life. But he plays the wing now. And he takes faceoffs when they need him to win a good faceoff. You know, they need when the moment's too high for Ridley Gregg, when the pressure's too on for Dylan Cousins, you know, or like Timmy Stutzla. They send Claude Giroux out there,
Legiu,
right?
yeah.
And it's like, why can't Zaka be that guy? He's been loyal to Boston. He's loved it even before um, he lived here, sorry, but even before he got traded here, like all those things. So we'll see what happens with that. It sounds like he's gonna get extended though, and if I'm the Bruins, I'm going, all right, we'll do 6 million 8 years. We'll even give you the extra little bit of dough. And we just need to keep this AAV down because we're gonna have to sign all these guys one day. But like I said, we got 34 million dollars in cap space next year. You give that extension, you still got like $25 million in cap space next year with not like that
It's
many guys
crazy.
to with you probably let Ace Mont walk, probably let Crowley walk, probably let Middlestat walk if they're all not traded originally, and you would have on paper right now Lorai, Zaka, and DiPietro to extend
Just
$34
all
million.
manageable if you do
They
need.
probably take up 10. They take up 15% of that 30 million, maybe. Maybe like
Big old
DiPietro has a
maybe.
good year. He gets the Casa 2 years, 2 million. You know, okay. So now we're at 32 million. Let's just say Lorai Stens has a really good season and let's go half glass full here. He has a really good season and he gets a 5 times 5, right? All right. So now you're looking at 23 million. You give Zaka 6 to 7 of that, you're still getting like 15, 14 million.
It's crazy.
So
It's not a
we'll
bad
see what
situation to be
happens.
in. I'm sure it's a better situation. I don't know of Pop Hip. I'm sure the rest of the Atlantic's like this is bullshit. This is
Yeah, man.
horse shit. Like I know Detroit. I know Steve Eiserman is sitting there just being like, "What the fuck? Where did we go wrong, bro? Like we hit so many home runs in this game.
He's doing the
But
how do
yet
they
we're
keep
blowing
getting
in
away
the
with this?
yeah, but he's blowing it in the eighth. You know what I mean? He's sitting there like,
Excuse me.
what is going on, bro? We had a
Hmm.
4-run lead.
Um, it's funny enough, the Leafs had all that cap space. They made all these moves, right? How much cap space do you think they have right now today?
Minus 3 million.
Minus 127,000.
Oh fuck.
So
That's not
like
bad.
you, we have 5.39 million. And we have too many guys right now. Like we're kind of Carolina Hurricane. I'm not saying we're like bringing in those guys and we're going to win a cup. I just mean like we're taking that route of like, all right, we got to go back to like, yeah, the cap's going up, but like we still got to be smart about it. Like you look at San Jose, I'm
Yeah.
like, bro, what you doing? I know they had to get to the cap floor. Like, dude, after all that, San Jose still has 14 million in cap space. Like, it's a joke. Yeah,
Jesus.
all that money they gave out like $30 million on day one, and they still have 14.2, and that's having Orlov's like 9 million or whatever it is still attached to them.
Crazy.
Yeah. So, it just is what it is. I keep looking at like, what is Philadelphia doing? They got 30 million in cap space. They did nothing on free agency. They extended Tyler Forster. Like there's worse situation. You can say like you said, Detroit. They got 18 million in cap space. They're probably gonna have more to send Larkin out the door. So
They just can't.
this is
Yeah.
just the NHL we're at. Washington having 975K is unbelievable. Shout out Ovi coming back, baby. Hell yeah. Farewell tour.
You know, all speculation, everything that's saying it's going to be Ovi retiring.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
L L
L L.
generational losing streak. Yeah. Leafs on TSN featuring Darren Drager.
He's
It's
such a
always great to
fucking
cover a team that
villain.
also falls short because I fall short constantly.
Speaking of falling short, there was a trade that apparently Nurse was coming to Boston from Edmonton. Dave Pagnotta reports that Boston and Edmonton had a trade in place to send Darnell Nurse to Boston. A player that was part of the deal heading to Edmonton exercised their no trade clause and vetoed that deal. Apparently, everyone's saying it's Nikita Zadorov, but like I just don't understand how that could have been him. To me, it's one of the Lindholms. That's just my personal opinion. Like I I couldn't imagine um Neely and Sweeney trading Zadorov for Nurse. And I also don't think I said this to you off air. I don't think Zadorov would have Edmonton on his no trade. He is definitely the type of guy to be like, yeah, I'm gonna win a cup with McDavid.
Yeah, like
And
he,
he
I
has no
don't see
problem playing in
him.
Canada. We know that.
Yeah, no, I. The only thing I can think of is like his wife and his kids really like Boston. Like every time he
Yeah.
posts photos, they just look like a really happy family. So like, are like if he did say no, like I'm sure he'll do a podcast. Hopefully with only Bruins once it's all said and done. And I could just
Yeah.
picture him, that beautiful slick back hair, being like, "I wasn't going to leave Marco Stern for Mike Babcock.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
I don't give a hell who's on that team. Like, I'm going from a guy who played the game, who like understands, empathizes, like knows how, like to a guy who just like hates everything.
Hmm.
Like, I would
Yeah.
never send Mike Babcock to go get coffees or like we go, hey, hey boys, I'm gonna go and get some coffees. Like he's gonna come back with like tomato juice. Like yeah,
Yeah.
midway through the drive, I decided you boys actually don't deserve this. You deserve room temperature tomato juice. I left them out in the sun, right in the back of the
Yeah.
truck there, they're a little hot. But yeah, you guys drink this. Maybe you can work away getting a black cup of coffee. Like that's another thing. I think it was like with Zadorov because he just loves hockey. He loves the room. Like he loves Boston. The idea of just like that's the only reason why I believe it because the idea of like him being like I'm leaving a city that's just getting back into this shit
Yeah.
for a city that is like at their wits end with the shit they're being and like that's their reward was Mike Babcock.
Yeah, no shit. And it's another thing too, like we're not even thinking about Casey Middlestat. He
Oh,
has
I'm
a
sure Casey was like, I'm
he
not
has a
like, dude.
9 team no trade list, and when players have like a 9 team no trade list, it's normally the Canadian teams and the California teams because of how high the
Mm,
taxes are. Like another thing too, like why wouldn't Edmonton want Elias Lindholm $7.7 million instead of Nurse's 9.25? Like I just think we're looking at this like too narrow minded just because of one. And like no offense, I don't fuck with Puck Empire. I think they're bullshit. I don't like them. I
yeah.
don't even follow them. I can show you right now. They're the ones that said I don't even follow them. I've had my phone
Yeah.
down here waiting to talk this. I think whoever runs that account's an asshole. They're Leaf lovers. I just it's not for me that
They're
account.
trying to do what they're just trying to do what happened in Columbus. They're just trying to stir the pot.
Yeah, and it's just like I don't know. I would love
So,
to see
sorry,
Zadorov on a
sorry
podcast
that
get asked about it.
Lawton, sorry that Lawton kept his head down with the puck while Zadorov was on the ice.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
sorry, man. Sorry that Zadorov did what Tanev and Ekman Oliver and Larson just refused to do, and he just laid out the hit when it was there. Was it
yeah.
glorious to see in person? Did it happen right in front of Shannon and me? Yeah. Do I dream about it? Is it the Spank Bank headliner? Absolutely. It's
I know,
great.
dude. You know what? You know what I might. You know what I'm gonna do too. I'm gonna DM Elliot Friedman and be like, "Yeah, hey man, I know it's off season. I hate to ask this, but like, it wasn't Zadorov, right? Like, I just need to know." And like, I'd be like, even like, "Hey, you can voice note this if you want. Like, I promise, or like, turn off like screenshots, or I don't even know what you could do to like make this so that it's protected that I don't out you. But I just want to know for my own personal sanity because like, I just don't." The way the Bruins
Boston loves
talk
him.
about Zadorov and how much yeah, like how much he's come into his own. Like I mean, you're telling me that we're bringing in all this speed and skill, and like I get it. Nurse is snarly and he's big and he plays hard, but like I just don't see Neely and Sweeney being like, yeah, we need to lose Zadorov for this guy. What you want is like, no, let's bring him in so he can play with McAvoy, but we also still need Zadorov. Like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, that's how
That's
I looked at it.
100%. That's where I was at. I was just like, I just feel like whether people like him or not, whether people like the contract or not, like he is the heart. He is essentially the heart and soul. Like there were definitely times this year where you were like, he's the captain without having a
Yeah,
seat.
man. And you're just gonna trade that guy? He's helping fix the culture, and you're gonna trade that guy?
Yeah.
Like, I just it I
Like the
get it.
reports
Like
that
the
came out when his leg buckled against Detroit
yeah,
and Marco Stern being like, most guys don't play the rest of the season. I don't know how he's
yeah,
still
yeah,
playing. Like
yeah,
that was like if you're in the room, that was the ultimate like either you're in
yeah. And
or you're
you're gonna
fucking out.
and Bruins don't trade those guys. Like they like you know what I mean? They're loyal to guys that will put their like heart and soul on line. Like that's why they didn't trade Krug and they let him walk to free agency for nothing because it's like this guy bleeds black and gold. We just don't want to give him this next contract. You know?
Yeah, which was unfortunately it sucks that
The
was the right
right
move, but
decision, unfortunately. I'm glad he's working for St. Louis now and
yeah.
doing all that. He's pretty much like the Adam McQuaid in St. Louis, from what I've heard. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on that real quick before we a couple of development camp things, just because I don't know. People can believe what they want to believe. I personally believe was probably like because if you told me, oh yeah, it was Hampus Lindholm, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. They want to replace their guy behind McAvoy, like or like
Hmm.
like that makes sense. I could see why they'd want to do that, or even like, oh, you told me like, yeah, it was Elias Lindholm. I'm like, oh yeah, because like now you can put McDavid and Draisaitl line together with Matt Savoy and then you have Lindholm and Nugent Hopkins as your next two centermen. Like, yeah, that makes sense to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many more. Like, I don't even see why like Edmonton they have Ekholm. Why would I? You know what? I don't know. This Zadorov
I
in it
didn't
doesn't make
yeah.
sense. You know, dude, it could have been Morgan
And
Geeky for all we know. Like his no trade
yeah.
clause kicked in on July 1.
And who knows? Maybe like the only thing with Everton, maybe they just really like that Sam Bennett fight.
Yeah, yeah,
Like maybe, but like that like if if you want that bad, like we need a first round. I don't know, we don't have any, but yeah, no, I don't.
yeah. I
I just
wouldn't
don't see
need
why you would.
if Zadorov was going that way and Nurse was coming this way. I would probably need like a Matt Savoy or an Ike Howard coming back with it. Like that's not equal value to me. Like if you told me it was Hampus, Nurse, Flip, I'd be like, yeah, it makes sense. Pretty equal value. If you told me it was Elias Lindholm, Flip, yeah, it's pretty equal value. If you told me it's Casey Middlestat and they were just like, yeah, we'll just take a year of almost 6 million and let him walk or flip him at the deadline, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, why would they said too they didn't want to take on money. They wanted to free up money. That was the whole point
Yeah,
of the Edmonton trade. And
Fallow trade. Oh, sorry.
yeah,
Go on.
yeah, sorry, both trades.
Sorry. Yeah.
But it's just I don't know. It to me that's just people clutching at pearls in my personal opinion. But to wrap this one up, because I just got a text. I got burgers ready upstairs. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Um, yeah, fucking we went to my stepdad knows a guy who owns a farm, and we went and he just gave us all this butchered meat, and we're so good. These burgers are like steak burgers, if that makes sense.
I
But
know exactly what you're talking about. I just got horny thinking about
yeah, my mouth's actually watering just talking about it.
it.
What was I gonna say? Oh, development camp. It seems like I listened to a little bit of the little clip of Adam McQuaid today. He's uh from every tweet I saw, Laterno's taken massive steps, and if it wasn't for him being in college and being committed to college, I wouldn't be shocked if he was like going into the Bruins camp this year. But let him go to college. Worked with Higgins. Let him have one more year. You know, like BC's actually gonna have a better team than they had last year. Um, Sorry, Boosie and all the BC fans out there. I hope they don't even make the playoffs, but I hope Laterno's like a Hopey Baker finalist or winner, like Higgins was this past year. But it sounds like you found a top six see the future, and hopefully your one see the future from his year to year progression. He's getting bigger, but he's getting lighter on his feet. His hands are getting better, but he's getting meaner. He can score from anywhere. He's a big body. Like, just loving everything that I'm hearing out of development camp for Laterno right now.
Yeah, from what I've heard and just some of the videos that have been posted, I wish I made a note of some of the people that made the videos. I apologize. Um, just like lots to get excited about
Yeah,
because that was a pick where we were all like, "Oof,
it was a
could be
big
good,
swing. It
could be
was either
good."
a dribbler to the pitcher or a fifth deck home run. No in between.
Yeah. Um, there was that, and then Mativ Kotkov.
Kotkev, yeah, it's a big surprise for
Kotkev, yeah,
everybody. Russian
he
kid.
he seemed to be the kid that
Dude, did you
he
know that
wanted
the
to put this. Go on. Yeah,
real quick, did you know the Bruins sent a private jet to go get the Russians?
that's fucking dude. That's rock star shit.
Apparently they've been loving their Russian scouts right now, and no one else is picking out of Russia, so they're like, yeah, we can get this guy in the fourth round.
That's yeah, like just a touch on a draft. That was the thing I walked away from the most shocked of. Like, was it 3 Russians they took or two to three?
Two
Three, right?
Russians, two
Yeah,
Swedes,
Yuri
two
Ivanov
Russians.
and Mativ Kotkov.
Yeah.
Kotkov. You're way better at the Russian shit than I am. Which is ironic because I help a
Kotkov.
lot of Russians. Kotkov. Um, when I watch that kid's videos, like just some of the highlight reels I could find, and I haven't had time to watch game footage. I know Dom, it's that they're free on YouTube. I've been meaning to do it.
Oh yeah, I bookmarked that
But
tweet.
just from what I've been reading and some of the highlight reels, reading about him also making heads spin was also not shocking. And then Yuri Ivanov played. Am I
Yeah,
remembering that correctly?
yeah, Ivanov,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's staying in Russia for 2 years. Like I think both of them are going back for at least 2 years.
Yeah, like we probably won't see Yuri for another 4 years.
Just fine.
Well, he's
Like
gonna be.
good to you.
What I said to you is they look at it like it'll be like Gustafson and Wallstad one day, like Swayman and Yuri Ivanov, and like then they'll hand the torch out. The Bruins, I don't have any problem with that pick. I know everyone was so mad about it, but like, yeah, okay, you could have got guys that I think this kid's gonna be an NHL starter. But what if you just found Vasilevsky? Like or you're gonna take a maybe on some right-handed shot D that might never make it to the NHL. Like it's a second round pick. Like it's almost the exact pick Poitras went 56. I'm pretty sure he went around there. Or no, Lori 42, 52. Anyways,
Mhm.
I didn't hate the pick as much as some people. Like I had the initial shock of like who, what, why,
Well,
and then
yeah,
I
we
started
all hit
look.
BB and everything.
Yeah, and then we all started looking, and we were like, oh, he played against that kid we took in the seventh round that's absolutely lighting it up in Russia this past year, and he played against him in the finals. I'm pretty sure Kotkov was in on one of those teams too, if I'm not
Kokov was the
mistaken.
team that beat him in the finals.
Yeah, which is
So
Yaroslav's
hilarious,
Yaroslav, the kid we took seventh last year, who's like looks really good. In
right?
the seventh round last year, looks really good. He's teammates with Kokov, and it kind of seems like there's a theme, like with like some of these picks. Um, but yeah, I guess he looks really good. Like everything I've seen about him is like, yeah, everything like we might be. A lot of people like don't love the pick because of where it was, and I think you could have waited. But I don't think you could have waited. Like if they took him there, that means they had other intel that someone else was going to take
Someone
him.
else was
Yeah,
taken,
so
and Don had mentioned too that the draft team was very excited about him.
yeah, oh
And if
yeah.
they're excited about him in the second, that means they were shocked that he wasn't taken yet.
And that's the thing. So, because it's 2 years before he comes over, he probably spends a year in Providence just because that's the Bruins blueprint. And then he'll be up the year after, which is 4 years from now, right?
Hmm.
It's 4 more years on Swayman's contract. But then you have him for 3 years at an entry level, or sorry, 2 more years at an entry level contract. Now you're still only paying 900K, or sorry, 10 million for your goalies. And we're talking 4 years from now when the
Crazy.
cap might be like 150 freaking million dollars. So like,
The thing I like about it, because the timeline of it is like Swayman's contract ends in 2031,
mhm,
and if that gets greasy, and you've developed, I'd say just hypothetical, this kid does is the highest projection of what he could be, right? Like, say you find a Wallstat or dare I say a Vasilevsky in this kid,
mhm,
then if Jeremy Swayman's like, hey, I want to just get paid,
yeah,
then it's a little easier to be like, all right, well, we're not paying you that. But there are
yeah.
33 other teams in the league that will be happy
At that
to
time, might be 34 other teams in the
pay
league.
for it. Yeah. They'll be happy to give you a boatload of money. No
Yeah.
disrespect. Like, you'll come back. We'll
Thanks for
celebrate the
your
23
service.
team. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, and that's not why they picked him. That's
No,
not
but
why they
it's
picked this
like,
kid at second. But it's that long distance research where you're like, if we do what we did right, like if we like Bussy turned out, Bussy won a Stanley Cup,
yeah.
shut up and Stanley Cup. Shout out. I think Bernie Perront's the last guy to do that as a rookie. Um, I'm way off on that. Bernie Perront was a rookie when he won the cup. Anyways, like Dan Vladar, 5 years of Philly. Like it's like you have enough of this trust now. You're like, what we did in the 2010s wasn't working. Malcolm Subban didn't pan out. Zay McIntyre didn't pan out, but these kids are panning out. Yeah, let's start going like to the depths of hell to
Hmm.
find. And I think an underrated aspect of these Russian leagues, these Russian junior leagues that these two kids are in, that doesn't get enough love, and I get because of political aspects and stuff, and not every scout's down to go to Russia just because it's Manitoba winter there
All
11
the
months of
time.
the year.
Yeah.
Um, but it's like the Austin Matthews thing where he went to Europe when everyone went to college or
Yeah,
went
like
to the
Switzerland, I
dub.
think, or
He went to like
Austria or
Switzerland and played
something.
against men, and like the Russian leagues are fucking vicious.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, like,
like I think like Tom and Robert were talking about Matiev Kotkev, how he was the most composed player all week.
hmm
Like Will Zeller's Laterno shined because that's what they're there for. But this kid was the one that was like,
or Cooper
oh,
Simpson's got a lot
Cooper
better too.
Simpson's another one there. Yeah. But he was the one where it's like people were like, oh, this might be something we see sooner than later. Like, so
Yeah, and that's the thing too. These Russians that you're taking too, like I could be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure I saw someone say Ivanov, Kotkov, and I think it's like Yisemin or Yisemel, that kid we took seventh last year. They're all gonna be playing in the KHL next year. Not even just the MHL. Like they're gonna be
crazy.
trying out for like that's like Like I saw people upset Blanar's not going to go, who I also saw he's taken a big step forward in his development, which is good because he's my Lorai replacement in my opinion. Eventually, not right now, but same type build, same type player. Um, People are upset. He's kind of like put UMass on hold. He's gonna go try and make the SHL next year. And like if he does that, I don't want you going to UMass. Coming over to the
Yeah,
NHL.
come back.
Like
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like you look at Frondell, you look at Steinberg, you look at Bjork, you look at all these kids. Like I know I'm bringing up Bjork because I want to get to one of my favorites that has looked really solid as well that we haven't talked about yet. But you look at these guys and they go to the SHL and they're NHL ready when they come out of the draft. Maybe they need a
I
little bit
mean,
of seasoning, but like you can do that. That's what your level contracts are for, and that's why they're waiver exempt because you want to get the best development you possibly can. But Niels Barth, I can't say it, dude. Niels Bartholdson. There we go. Niels.
there
I'm
you
just gonna call him Barty. Um,
go.
this kid's he's your Lysell replacement. He's not a complete player like Bjork, like everyone was saying at the draft. But damn, I think that's gonna be a steal in the third round. I think you found a middle sex winger, um, almost like a Connor Garland, but more scoring, less grit. Is kind of like what I'm getting from watching his video and stuff. This kid can score from anywhere, dude. Like I was watching some of these videos people were posting. I was like, oh my god, this kid's got an lethal, lethal shot. So it's gonna be exciting to watch them all. It sounds like McQuaid was saying today, like everybody we took in this last draft had a great development camp, and can't wait to see what they look like next year. And that makes me feel good because like I'm so sick of like, oh, he was picked in round one, he was picked in round six. Maybe he wasn't scouted enough. Maybe it was like Colin McRae and or sorry, Jacob Vandevin, um, who who's just really young and hasn't played in the OHL yet. Like, you know what I mean? Like this Colin McRae lit up the USHL. We took him at the seventh. He's going to play for Michigan next year. Like, what if he pops and you got a seventh round pick that's just, you know, breaking the door down in a couple years? So a lot of these players, especially the ones like Roberto Henriquez, dude, did you know he's Dominican and Switzerland or Slovakian? Slovakian and
Slovakian.
yeah, Dominican. Let's fucking he's
I
looks like
I
he's gonna
like
be a
that
good
pick
goalie. Dude, that
because
looks
he's the BC kid, right?
and that kind of the two taking the two of them right now and how long like he'll go to school for 4 years, no doubt. But like that's gonna be your tandem in Providence in 4 years.
Which I'm into. I
Yeah.
will say that the note on Colin McRae, because I remember when we took him and I
Dude,
was
Johnny
looking some
Laz
stuff
loved
up.
that pick.
Yeah,
Our boy
like
Johnny.
so I don't. Oh, fuck, I wish I could remember. I should have made a note of them. There was like an agency, and I don't know if they're scouting him or they. This I was checking their website. It doesn't look like he signed, but this agency has been pumping Collins shit
Yeah.
since like last January. So I tweeted like when I tweeted about it, and I was like prick to play against, and they liked it and retweeted it because they were obviously like okay.
Yeah.
Good, like that's a pretty nice like not the maybe not the most PR thing that you want to
Yeah,
say about
yeah,
your player.
yeah.
But the fact that a Boston podcast was like this kid's like big, tall, mean, got a wicked shot. But yeah, then Johnny Lazarus posted, and I was like, all right, like if that's your seventh pick,
Yeah,
and no
that's
most seventh picks don't really pan out to anything to
yeah.
disrespect a reality, and I'm like. I don't know. It was weird. Like every draft you watch and you pay attention, but this was the one where I literally was like every pick where I was like, huh. Like I feel like most years, like half of them, I'm like, okay, yeah, like we won't see you. This was the one where I was like, you might be like this might be a friggin' headache in 3 to 4 years because like
Dude,
where are we
yeah.
gonna put you?
Dude, and
Like
that's
and then
it's
Colin
a
McRae where I was like, damn, Zadorov to McRae's gonna be crazy.
it's gonna
Like,
be a lot. Yo, dude, one of Jacob Vandeven's the kid from London, one of his buddies, like I made a tweet about him, like, watch this kid live, with my own eyes, blah blah, all this stuff that I said in my original post about him when they drafted him, and I saw one of his buddies. He commented on my post. And he was like, "Andy's an unbelievable human being." Like, and not to mention on top of that, and then I like looked, and I was just like, I just like randomly, I was just like, who is this? And I clicked. He's in Buddy's header and profile picture. at like prom or like shit like that. So it's like I was like, oh shit, this is one of his fucking friends. So that was kind of cool that like to hear that he's a good kid and he's gonna get coached by like it's like Ty Anderson said. I've been beating this drum for so long. If you're drafting the kid out of the London Knights, it's a good pick. I just I know it didn't work with Jackson Edward. I wish McQuaid got more of him. He came in a little bit later in his
Hmm.
development. I think he could have really fixed him, but he's sticking around in Philly. Like I saw that they
I saw that,
extended
yeah.
him, and
And
like
Jackson, Nico.
yeah, Jack
They
Studnicka,
signed him,
and
but
yeah, and it's just like like if you're telling me that you're giving me a defenseman who's raw, that Dale Hunter's gonna have his hands all over for the next 4 years, bro. Like Keaton Verhoff and Carson Carls, who went number 6 and 9 in this year's draft, they both talked about how great Hunter was for them at the World Juniors for their development, and even Gavin McKenna did the same thing. So it's like that. Even those picks, I like a lot too. So we'll see what happens. Um, it just sounds like you said, like they're definitely projects, and we'll see. It's on the kids now. Like this isn't on the it's on the organization to give them everything they need, and world class Bruins have a world class original six organization. I'm sure they will, but now it's just on the kids. Like these are some good projects. These are some good swings, and I see people being like, "Yeah, Bruins had like a B draft. They had like a C draft." I don't know, man. I give them like a plus for some of these picks. Like, you might
I
not
would,
like
yeah.
the pick, but it's not a bad pick.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I feel like yeah, they didn't go off the board. They didn't do anything weird. And like, if the weirdest thing you did was you went and got a goalie from Russia that made everyone else in the league go, oh, you also have scouts in Russia.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that's not a bad thing, man.
And you
That's not
actually
a bad
trust
thing.
them, as Ty Anderson
Yeah,
says. Apparently, they're very trusting of their Russian scouts right now.
or like the Oscar Olsen pick where like people were like, fuck, like
Just get
I would have
yeah,
we were hoping we can get a chance to work on that and figure out like who was this player. We see what this player could be, but can we get, you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
and even the fact the second last pick, like the Roberto Henriques, like the fact that this kid didn't go drafted last year, worked on it, took it like chip on his shoulder, went in, grinded, as Brian Mujanel would say, hit the rubber or
yeah,
whatever his dumb fucking like. I just read the notes on Jackson Network. So you're saying that put the rubber to the road.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and now he's starting goaltender in BC. So it's like I don't know, like that's the shit where you just look at and you're like, I don't know, like it ended, and I was like, it'll be. I feel like it'll be more fun to pay attention to these players this year and
yeah.
do updates and like
It feels like we
because last year was
finally,
Easy Cooper and Will Zellers, but like,
yeah.
sorry, I'll let you finish.
No, I was just gonna say this year, it's almost like we've been saying like for years and years now. You gotta completely tear down your you need to refill the cupboards, but you need to get rid of everything that was in there, and you need to get rid of the shelving, put new shelving up, and then you need to put new products back in the cupboard and it feels like we're here now. Like next year, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh man, we have so many prospects. Like Roberto Henrique's probably gonna play in the World Juniors. There's a chance Niels Bartholdson could play in the World. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like what if Colin McRae goes to Michigan State and he's the guy there by accident, and now all of a sudden he's playing for the USA as seventh, right? You know what I mean? Like it's just
Mm-hmm.
there's more opportunity for us to watch these players, and I think there's some big swings and some
Mm-hmm.
weird swings, but I think there's a very real possibility like the will revisionist history will look back on this draft and be like, man, you know, in 2020 or was it 2021 or 2020 when we drafted the Lysell draft, we're like, nobody's really played in the NHL from that draft. But you remember the 26 draft, dude? Like we have 5 out of 7 that draft, and Colin McRae's on our team right now. You know what I mean? The seventh round
Yeah.
pick. Like that's what this draft kind of has. It has the potential to be. I'm not saying I know the future and that's gonna happen, but it's really
Mm-hmm.
giving like, god damn, the Bruins really fucking cooked on that draft.
I'm with you on that. Yeah, it just like a boost of energy.
Yeah.
That's what it was. It wasn't like you were scrapping at what was being thrown at you. You were like, oh, these are
And
all.
and you got Paterka the day before. And you
Mhm.
would have had to wait for
I
JP Hilbert, who's the exact player you traded for.
exactly. I'll say that the biggest thing was like the fact that I was able to do write ups on these players
That
within
was
5 minutes.
awesome, dude. You had some
It
great
was
write
like,
ups.
but it was like, oh, there's this much info on these guys
Mm-hmm.
already. Like
Yeah.
these aren't just weird, and it was nice
Mm-hmm.
to like go on like Leafs blogs and Canucks blogs and be like, oh, you guys had this guy pegged.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
Enjoy
like
it. Read them and weep, baby.
especially like Colin McCrate, like he was all over the place. I was looking, like some people had him in the top like 100.
Crazy,
Yeah. So,
but
but as what's his face, the guy in Sportsnet, not Kyle Bukakis, but or Bukakis, the Bukala, Jason Bukala. He used to be the head scout director for the Florida Panthers. He works for Sportsnet now. Everybody's list is different than the teams. Like teams have way different lists than the public,
oh yeah,
and like
it's
rank. Like some teams value certain shit. Meet these kids, like they like the person that they are, that type of thing. So we'll see what happens from this draft. I think it has a possibility. It's this is a weird one because there's a lot of invites to, other than these players. There's a lot of
mhm.
invites to development camp this year. It's gonna be sick to see next year where these kids are at.
Yeah,
Like next
I'm
summer.
jacked up. As I say,
Yeah.
it's more fun to keep track of them this time around. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be interesting. Um do you have anything else you wanted to talk about, Babo?
Now I feel like we covered everything, which is insane.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
I know.
Boosie, hope you're doing good, buddy.
Yeah,
I
he's
never
this
ask
was
you how you're doing, so this is me finding out if you're doing good. This is our draft book. We put $100 bill at the end of the podcast to see if Boosie does.
yeah, Busa, he should be back next week, I believe. He had a nice week off vacation. I hope he had a good time golfing. Seemed like he was on the course every day.
Horse and feet pics,
Dude,
dude.
it was so funny when we
Crazy.
were doing the draft live stream, and we were just like stopped at one point. We're like, "Oh shit, Boosie doesn't even know that we got Connor Clifton back."
Let's
Or
ruin his vacay.
yeah, and we were doing the draft one. We're sitting there. We're like fucking the rest of the picks going out. I'm like, man, it's so crazy. Boosie's just like laying in bed right now, sleeping, has no idea. JJ Paterka's a Boston Bruin.
So true.
It's
I
fucking
actually have
funny.
one more thing. It's not
Mm.
hockey related, but I have to get this off my chest to the masses because I'm old. I guess I'm starting to feel old. I'm
Mm.
seeing Motley Crue this weekend.
Oh, fucking right.
Jacked up. Shout out True North Sports. Thank you for the tickets.
Hell yeah.
Uh, humble brag. And it hit me because I'm taking my mother, and it hit
Yeah.
me. My mom took me to see Motley Crue for the first time when I was 10 years old in
No
2005.
way, dude.
It was 21 years ago.
That's fucking
So
crazy.
2 decades later, I'm returning the favor and taking her. But hey, man, say what you want about the Crew. Say what you want about Vince Neil and his inability to sing, but his disability to lip sing, which I will. Hey, man,
Yeah,
I'll
I'll
drink a
give it
beer to
to you.
that.
Yeah, I'll give it to you.
But weird, like fucking 20 years, still crushing the Crew, man.
That's awesome, dude. And you said it's this weekend?
Yeah, July 4th.
Nice,
That's
man.
how I'll be celebrating Independence Day,
Nice,
baby,
dude.
with my
How
Texas
God
shirt.
intended. How God
How God
intended,
intended,
bro.
baby. What do you love most about America?
Yeah.
I love Sydney Sweeney, the Boston Bruins, and I love heavy metal.
And that is a perfect way to end this podcast. Thank you for everybody that listens. We love you. We'll be back next week. It's gonna be nice to have a little week off and not talk about Bruno. We'll be on Twitter and stuff. We'll be tweeting and
Oh,
stuff. Like if something happens, me and Bobby will always do a pop up only Bruins live stream to see or to talk about things that go on. So if there's a crazy trade, we'll definitely hop on in the meantime. But you won't get us till next Friday. Um, you've been great. We've been only Bruins. Stay cool. Till next time. Peace. Let's go Bruins, bitch.
Happy Independence Day, baby.
Oh yeah. Happy Independence Day.